February 1992. Hello and welcome to Sydney's Parramatta City Raceway for the Peter Jackson Australian Sprint Car title. It's going to be a sensational event. It's the 30th running and it in fact hasn't been held at this venue since 1978, which many people would say is classified as a major bone of contention, given the fact that this venue, the 450-metre Parramatta Oval, is classified as being the leading sprint car track in Australia. There's an all-star cast of the fast here this evening and a very big crowd, marching bands and all the razzmatazz which you'd expect to go with an Australian Sprint Car Championship. In total, 60 drivers from all over the nation are going to be doing their very best to wrestle Australia's premier sprint car event. Who are the big chances? Let's find out now. Well, Brooke, for many, many months now, a lot of people close to sprint car racing have been tipping you to take out the 1992 Peter Jackson Australian Sprint Car title. Can you?
I think the Winfield Racing Team Tatnall can take it out, but we just need a bit of luck and need a few other guys just to have a bit of bad luck. But it's the same as any motorsport and any competitor. If you got that little bit of luck on your side, I think anyone can take it out.
Racetrack here last night with the initial qualifying heats was very demanding.
Yeah, it was a bit of a toss-up on the track. It was 1 minute it's dry, slick, and next minute, if you went out in an early heat, it was pretty tacky. But it was a weird track, but everyone's out on the same surface, so there's not too much you can say about it.
You being a Tatnall, you've stepped into a strong piece of speedway tradition, if you like. How much does this mean to you tonight?
This is the ultimate so far in my career. If we can pull this off, I think all the guys will be really happy. I'm a little bit worried that if we pull this one off, that might sort of give it away, but I'm hoping if we do pull it off, he hangs around there and we just keep going, because the Tatnall era is George Tatnall and I'm just trying to carry it on.
Who's your biggest danger?
The other 16 guys in the field, but yeah, everyone keeps saying there's 3 guys that are going to win this title, but they keep forgetting about these other 10 guys that are running right up there. You got Skip Jackson, Gary Brazier, Colin Farr, Dad. They've all got good equipment. Everyone's equipment's equal, and they're right up there. But I think if you go past Gary Rush, you're a fool.
Wayne, many people are saying tonight's 1992 Australian Sprint Car title is a race in 3. I think perhaps you've been overlooked. You were running very strongly last night.
Yeah, we were running real good last night. We drew middle of the field and we came off and ran good in the first heat. Second heat, I thought we were going to run well. We got a fairly good start and we got caught in an incident. That put us back and that took us a long way out. And third heat, we came out and we ran third and we got our points a fair way up. So we'll just see what happens tonight. We're coming out of pole tonight, so we've got to win that, and that will get us to the feature. I'm not looking at starting in the B main at all.
Well, I'm now standing with a man that has to be described as being the perennial favourite for the Peter Jackson 1992 Australian Sprint Car title. Gary Rush, you've done it 9 times before.
Yeah, but I don't know about favourite. We had an easy heat, David, and we start at the back of the next one. If we get through that, we might end up on pole, but there's 2 other good races in the field. Well, there's a lot of other good races in the field, but the last heat last night told me a lot. Young Brooke and Max are going very fast, and I think they're the ones to watch.
You look very relaxed and very calm. You've done it all before, as I said with my first question. Now, I know it's very important for you to do well tonight and to win for your race fans, probably more so than yourself.
Yeah, that's true. When I won my first title, that was enough for me. That was pleasing enough, and the rest followed. But everyone, there's a lot of people out there been saying go for the 10th, go for the 10th, and I guess and it used to annoy me. But then when you think about it, most of them people, they've been paying their way into speedways all over the country the last 10 years, and they really own a little bit of me, and they're demanding I win my 10th, so I'll go out there and try to do that for them.
Well said. Good luck, Master Blaster.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Skip Jackson, a sensational performance last night in the qualifying heats. 3 starts, 2 wins. It's fair to say you're probably somewhat of a dark horse in this.
Well, last night we ran pretty good, but tonight's a whole new night, and we just got to run as good as we can, and hopefully we can finish up front.
You went to the United States and you became the most successful Australian ever in the history of the prestigious Knoxville Nationals. I suppose as a result of that, you're feeling a little bit of pressure to do well here tonight?
I've been nervous ever since I come back for that reason, but we really haven't been running all that good here most of the year, so it's good just to run good here again for a change. So I just hope we can keep running good and keep running good the rest of the year.
Now, a couple of nights ago, on Wednesday night, in fact, you told me you had some engine problems. It just wasn't responsive enough out of corners. Have you solved that problem?
It's not 100%, but It's a lot better. At least now I can drive the car, and hopefully it's going to be good enough to run good tonight.
Well, defending champion Max Dumsney, can you retain your title? That's the first question one has to ask you at a time like this.
Yeah, I'd like to think I could. I think if we have front row start, we've got every chance of doing it. But Brooke and Gary are both running very strong.
Now, you're running the Valvoline John Sydney Racing Sprint Car, which you normally only drive in the big shows, the Australian Sprint Car Series and things like that. How much more superior is this car to the standard CR&D machine we see you in?
It's not a great deal better, but it's had a lot of development work done on it, which is a benefit for sure. And the maintenance on the car is a lot better kept up, with fresh engines in it all the time. So it's a very strong car, and it's no slouch.
As you would know, Max, many people are saying that this event tonight is between three drivers. Obviously yourself, the young hard charger Brooke Tatnell, and the 9 times champ Gary Rush. Now, Rushy's had a fairly easy time of things so far with very easy heats. You ended up going in against Brooke Tatnell last night, and what was the situation there? Because you guys are supposed to be seated, I think. Yeah,
I don't know what happened there. The heats are supposed to be seated, and I think Brooke and I have both been sort of dealt a little bit of a shaft type deal there. I'm not really sure what's going on. It's by no means fair, because everyone knows that these 3 cars are probably the most likely to win the race, and I don't know what happened.
A couple of months ago on a radio interview I did with you, you declared without any doubt that an interstater could not win this race. Do you still stick by that?
I don't need to be nasty to the interstaters, but no, I don't think they've got much hope unless everything goes wrong for Gary and Brooke and myself, and even young Gary Brazier's going well. I don't think he's had an apprenticeship in sprint car racing yet, but he's going quite well. Skip Jackson's going well too. So, there's 5 of the top cars here tonight, and they're all New South Wales cars. So I really don't think there's anyone from anywhere else got much hope.
All right, Max, thanks for your time. I guess we're going to know sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, Ron Crick, former national sprint car champion. You've ventured an awfully long way over from Western Australia. How tough are you finding the Parramatta circuit?
Actually, Wednesday was good to us. We had a good run here, but they changed the track, and it was damn difficult last night for us. So we got a little bit hard tonight. We're going to come off the 4th heat, and maybe with a win will get us in. Otherwise, it'll be the B main.
Obviously, I'm based in Sydney, and having said that, a lot of the people along the East Coast generally say that sprint car racing over this side of the country is probably the most competitive. Would you go along with that?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of better cars here than anywhere else, any other state in Australia. But, these guys run the same track every week, and it makes it damn difficult.
Your new teammate, Jeff Leask, obviously a former motocross sensation. How's he working out in sprint cars?
Actually going very, very well. He's done more meetings interstate than what he's done at home, so not like me, I've got plenty of bad habits from home that I try to get ironed out over here, but no, Jeff's going to be a great, great driver in sprint cars. I think he's going to do equally as good in sprint cars as what he did in motocross.
What sort of bad habits are you talking about, mate, when you say you've got bad habits from back home?
Just different sort of the way you race tracks and things like that. Over home it's very slick and you use the throttle very lightly and everything, where here you've got to just stand on it very hard, and if you lift off and the car gets all upset. But over home you've got to be very, very careful with it.
Thanks very much for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Stand up, let's send them on their way and give them a big send-off for the Nationals. Final round of hits tonight for all those Sydney fans with their money pegged on Gary Rush, those Queensland supporters on Paul Lindbergh, and those from the West on Jeff Leask. And a lot of Sydney support too for Ivan Walker on the outside of the front row. A magnificent Toyota turbocharged pace car pulls off onto the back chute, and the drivers come round slowly. Lindbergh on pole, Ivan Walker already cruising to the outside now, setting it up. He will get on the gas here smartly. We're ready for green. They're racing! Ivan Walker straight down the outside, followed by Jeff Leask. Rush can't turn it. Was thinking about an outside charge, but couldn't pull it. Walker gets away. Rush will have to clear all these to get to Walker. He's moving up on the tail of Leask now as they come through the top corner. Onto the front straight away. 1 down, 11 remain. Walker's your race leader. Lindbergh is second, followed by Tunks. Rush now tries to turn it on the inside of Jeff Leask. I don't know whether it's the best move of all time, starting so far back in the pack and taking the heat out of rotation. He works away on the inside at Leask. Now he nails one. He's out after them as they go down the front straight. Paul Lindbergh doing a good job in second spot from Queensland as they go down towards turn number 4, but we've already had that one go up. And I think that was John Rodwell who got into the wars over there coming off turn number 4. Check out his condition in just a second. Number 13, Ivan Walker, Bobby Tunks, Gary Rush, Jeff Leask. And Walker doesn't waste any time. Leask tries to get up the inside of Rushy. Rushy caught to go wide here, trying to get around the outside of them, and Lease comes up on the inside of him. Across the line, Lindbergh goes down, and Bob Tunks will get the bite of it here. He gets through smartly now, so Tunks has picked up a whole bag full of points. Rushy now up to 4th. He's got Jeff Lease right behind him. They're coming off the top, then down across the strike. Walker's your race leader. Bobby Tunks trying to fight Bob Lindbergh, and now it's Rush. But the car isn't handling all that well. Pushing the front end badly, so Rush is back and forth, making a move on the inside of Lindbergh. Going through turn number 4, Rush will nail him on the exit, and does so too. That moves him up on the tail of Bob Tunks as they come down the front straight. Now he's pulling a Steve Kinzer as he goes down the inside line. Works away hard. They're not going to catch Ivan Walker. Imelda Marcos will be safe from there. Off turn number 4, here's Rush again, picking away at the inside. Can he do Bob Tunks? No, he can't. He sticks a wheel into him and sends himself off the racetrack. That cost him dearly. He's got a lot of ground to make up. There are only 7 laps to go. Up into turn number 4. Here comes Rush now. Pushes the front end badly. Gets back on the gas again. Ivan Walker says, catch me if you can. Goes down into the bottom turn on car number 13. Right behind him. When I say right behind, it's almost out to 10 car lengths now to Bobby Tunks running in second. Then, of course, it's Gary Rush in third. And right behind him, it's our pole sitter, Paul Lindbergh.
Gary Rush is looking at 10 points if he finishes where he is at the moment. He wanted 15 to have an unassailable hold on the pole position for tonight. The third place only pays 10. They come off the top turn and Walker looks a certainty.
Ivan Walker hauls it into turn number 1. He's got 3.5 laps to go. Rush is working feverishly to pull in Bobby Tunks. He's really putting the power down, getting to the outside there. Now tries to cut it back inside to come off the turn. Gets caught behind Tunks's tail. One big desperate down the outside. Can he do it? The car turns. He's through. Up to second.
And that's 12 points. He won't get the 15, but he'll get a 12.
He's 12. As he finishes there, he's dead equal with Max Stumsney and Brooke Tatnell in points. Into the bottom turn. Swinging off the back straightaway, Ivan Walker. No one's going to haul him in inside the distance. It'll need something absolutely crazy from Ivan or a restart. That's the only way. Walker sails in with a lap to go. Will deserve this win. He's driven straight, he's driven fast, and boy oh boy is he hauling the mail tonight. Turn number 4, your first winner of tonight. Who said 13's unlucky? Ivan Walker across the stripe. Rushy, the Master Blaster, gets up into second, and Bobby Tunks, a 1, 2, 3 for New South Wales. Off the third row was either McCarthy or Rankin. Couldn't pick it. It was spread equally over the two as they make their way onto the back straight. It'll still be Kevin Condren on the outside of Barry Kelleher.
And you think Peter Craft will give this one a good shot from the back?
Yes, unnoticed almost last night, but every time you looked at the results, he was there. Getting ready for a start. Green flag, they're racing. And it's Kevin Condren who wins the start with Wayne Bunker going down the outside. Rankin goes very wide indeed. Farr goes the outside. Now will try and come in between two of them. He'll find an opening on the inside there.
There goes Hayward around the outside looking for second.
He's a bit wide though. He tries to straighten it up again as he comes off the corner. Farr gets pretty smartly down into business on the outside. Makes a move here. If he can clear these couple, he'll pick up Barry Kelleher pretty quickly.
Around the outside of Alan McCarthy goes Farr. If it's going to pay off for him. Looks like it will. Takes him in behind Kelleher in position 5.
Come down the back straight, and it's Kevin Condren. This is quite a surprise. Brad Hayward wheeling coming off the corner, picked up the front two. Watch him again as he comes off turn number 2 now onto the back straight. Car starting to handle perfectly. Now moves in behind Condren. Gets the car sideways, coming off turn 2. Now comes down the front straightaway looking for an inside pass, and may get it. Here he goes. Parks it in sideways. The two of them come off side by side almost halfway down the back straight. Wayne Bunker of South Australia runs in third. Then you need a shotgun to pick up the rest of them.
Hayward is desperate to atone for last night. He wants 15 points and goes for the inside that will give it to him.
No, he won't.
Forced as Condren comes down track. Hayward desperately needs the points now. Bucks a little in turn number 4, back onto the wick in the main straightaway. He hasn't given this up and he's at halfway distance.
Looks pretty good here if he can just get settled properly around the outside rather than the inside of Kevin Condren. Turn number 4, Condren about mid-track, bobbles it a bit. Here comes Hayward on the inside. They almost bang wheels halfway down the straight. Now Hayward will elect to try and pass him on the inside there, but he's losing ground. He'd be better off following in the trailblazing as they come off turn number 4, sitting in there behind him and maybe looking to the outside. That's cost him a lot of ground, that wheel bump.
Yeah, he's shown he can make the ground up, but he's losing it on the desperation moves to try and grab that pole, that number 1 position in this heat. Once more, he's within distance of striking. He goes to the inside. Condren certainly knows he's there. How does he fare in turn 2? Back straight away. He hasn't lost any ground now. Can he capitalise on his current position with 3 laps to go? It's Brad Hayward in the Princeton entry, desperate to get through for a win. Main straight away, only 2 laps to get the job done. Condren looking comfortable. Using the low line is going to be difficult to get past. Time is running out for Brad Hayward with 1 to go.
He might have a chance here on the inside. He's almost flat strap, white flag. Now he'll pull it to the inside and give it everything. But he'll be beaten out of the turn by Condren. Only chances maybe get him on the inside coming off turn number 4. Sets it up now, up high. Tries to pull it back. No, the car waltzes and it's going to be Kevin Condren across the line. Winner of heat number 2. Second is going to go to Brad Hayward. Third is going to go to Wayne Bunker. And Young Farr getting up there for 4th place. And the time was 2 minutes 55.
So far in the points series, behind, of course, Gary Rush, Max Dumsney and Brooke Tatnell. We'll be hoping for a start in the main event on the first 2 rows. And a high placing in this one should see that car number 7 right up front. That, of course, Daryl Nash from Victoria will be very hard to stop from pole. Ron Cricky on the outside of the front.
Whoa, no thank you. Or did they? The flag got a bit of a wave, but I think it'll switch to amber very quickly. I said, Andy, it didn't appear as though they went to a stop situation. What a start the quid car got then.
Quitting nothing, and former national champion Ron Cricky in WA 99 will lead them down the back straightaway. Gary Brazier and Skip Jackson is also in there. Jackson up to 3rd after starting on the rear of field.
Gee, there'll be some people screaming, some drivers screaming about that start. Rod Bowen in particular, he's desperate now to try and catch the race leader.
Certainly Daryl Nash from Victoria, car number 7, will not like that. There'll be words spoken in the pits. In the meantime, Cricky leads them into 1 and 2. Floodlit beautifully down here at the action track tonight. Rocket Rod Bowen in the number 75 car sits in 2nd. He's 6th on the points going into this round. Something has come off the 99 car of Greg. Skip Jackson in the Central District Smash Repairs. Number 78 runs in 3rd. Gary Brazier in 4th. Nash and Nicastri. What a cast out here on this heat, the Parramatta City Raceway.
Car 99 to turn number 1, Ron Cricky from Western Australia, giving it everything he's got. He got a glorious start. Rod Bowen can't possibly hope to haul him in the 12 laps time, not the way he's running. Skip Jackson would be fouled, so would Gary Brazier, because they wanted a good start in the top turn, a real wheel-banging task as they come to the main straightaway. 2 of the slower cars, Ross Nicastri and number 7, driven by Daryl Nash from Victoria.
Certainly quite a battle going on back in the pack, and Skip Jackson is under a lot of pressure now from the 21 car, and of course of Gary Brazier. Ron Cricky is leading this one and doing a sensational job at the moment, and this will help Cricky's course. 23rd, so he's well out of the final placings at the moment, but a first place in this heat will certainly see him rocket up into contention. Bowen still remains in 2nd place. Jackson is pulling a little bit away from Brazier. Brazier remains in 4th, and you can forget about the rest of this stage. With about 2.5 racing laps remaining, former national champion Cricky seems to have slowed as he comes down the back straightaway.
Bowen's going for him. He's desperate, and there's a slower car in front. 3 laps to get the job done. Bowen's there on the inside. He wants 15 points. Here comes Jackson. Jackson has also joined the fray. Look at the finish. We're going again on the inside of Bowen comes Jackson, forcing his way into 2nd. Main straight away, it's Cricky in front. Now it's Jackson in 2nd. Bowen back in 3rd. Brazier is 4th. Down the back straight away. Time is running out. The white flag was displayed. The checker comes out. Final quarter, main straight away, and Ron Cricky gets the 15 points. Jackson, a last-minute lunge on the inside. Boy, there's some drivers going to be upset about the start, the race, and the way it finished.
Pole sitter Daryl Nash finishing in 7th place. So you can bet Daryl Nash will not be a happy man when they return to the pit enclosure. But what a
37 points, and they say the cut-off could be around 38, so he'll still be struggling, although he's looking a lot healthier than when he drove into the ground this afternoon. Queenslander Ray below. In position 1, Wayne Skipper from 2. Second row, Bruce White, Bob Kelly. Third row is where the interest is. Dumsney and Brooke Tatnell. They come to the main straight away, and they have the green, and it's Wayne Skipper getting out in front. The Queenslander below in car 11 is in second spot. Brooke Tatnell is third as they go down the back straight away with the Queenslander behind him, and then comes Dumsney. In the last heat last night, it was Brooke Tatnell leading home Max Dumsney, and the two are now running in third and fourth positions as they go to the back straight away. Dumsney is switched on. He wants to win, but he would certainly like to get past Brooke Tatnell, and he moves on the inside as they come to the straightaway. Tatnell is snooped on the outside. Behind the Queenslander at number 11. Brooke will have to do it the hard way. He's staying, but he's put in the bucket. Inside, wheel off the ground. He wants to get past 11 at that corner and does so. It gets him back into third place, but way behind Max Dumsney, who's now well and truly in pursuit of Wayne Skipper in 24.
And Skipper has done a nice job from position number 2. Dumsney rocketing into turn 3 and 4, looking very sharp in the Valvoline 1 car. Could this be a successful title defence to Max Dumsney? Only time will tell. The teenage ranger Brooke Tatnell remains in third. Once again, forget about the rest as Dumsney starts to close in on the race leader. The Tatnell car doesn't look too comfortable out on the clayway, whilst the JSR, John Sydney Racing Valvoline car of Max Dumsney is looking right at home on the quarter mile.
Australia 1 wants to retain the title, and he wants desperately to pick up 3 more points that he stands to get at the moment. To do it, he has to get past car 24. That's the situation with Max Dumsney now really on the edge, giving it all he's got as he moves to the wire at the halfway mark. We're past that, there's 5 laps to go. Dumsney calling on all reserves as he goes to the back straightaway. Skipper determined to hang in there in 24. It looks impossible to gather him in the distance, but Dumsney is trying his very best. Main straightaway once more, 4 laps to get the job done. Dumsney is closing on Skipper. Slowly but surely, Max Dumsney is closing in on Skipper. He'll only have 3 laps to get it done as they come off the top turn. The 24 car still in front. Dumsney has just about caught his prey. Can he get round? They're coming up 2 laps of cars as well. Down the back straightaway for the final, ordinarily the final time. We're on 3 with 2 laps to go coming up. Dumsney now looking to the inside. Skipper makes a mistake and Dumsney goes for it on the inside and grabs the lead. Skipper tries to come back. Tatnell nose out of joint and drops off the pace. And Max Dumsney has shown how determined he is to win the national title here again tonight. 1 lap to go. Australia 1. Max Dumsney guns it to the back straightaway in a sensational drive of determination. Let's hear it from the crowd who support Dumsney as he goes through the top turn, and a sensational win. Max Dumsney the winner. And he has smashed the 12-lap track record. Max Dumsney has smashed the 12-lap track record.
Stephen Gall, car number 26, doing it for Selby's, and Gall, I tell you what, has really been on the pace.
No, he performed very hard last night, but wasn't rewarded with the points.
Engine problems, yeah, had very bad problems. Nevertheless, Tatnell from 1 and Johnson from 3. Should be very interesting. Keep your eye on the blue number 37 car of David Anderson. Ready for the green, and it drops, and Tatnell got a nice jump from pole position. The Winfield car number 5 takes it into 1 and 2. Gall is in second. Johnson in third, followed by young Robert Farr, who has made a miraculous jump from 7 to 4. John Shaw and Kelly are also in there, but Gorgeous George is now under siege from the Selby number 26 car of Stephen Gall. Into 3 and 4 they go. Tatnell looking a lot more comfortable here tonight than he did last night on the clayway, as young Robert Farr puts the challenge up to Victorian Phil Johnson. Farr on the inside of the Black Magic number 6 car, and Farr needs every single point he can get to transfer through to the main.
It's the Tatnell of old we're seeing in car number 5 as he settles down, looking sharp, hits a rump, grabs it back quickly and goes to the back straight away. The challenger is still Stephen Gall, in fact the only challenger to George Tatnell's 15 points in this heat, but he's a worthy challenger. He's not letting Tatnell get too far away, staying near the tail of the car, bouncing 26 through turn 2 and onto the back straight away. Johnson is running in third spot, the driver from Warrnambool. Back in fourth as far as they hit the main straightaway once more. 8 laps, the mark. Car 5, the leader, George Tatnall, would be assured of a start and a pretty good starting position if he can pick up 15 points. He was 11th going into tonight's championship, and here comes Gall to try and take those vital 3 points off him. Stephen Gall dives to the inside. Tatnall is going to really have to work for it. 6 laps to go, we're at the halfway mark. George is driving well, but Gall is driving just as well. Goes for the inside pass. Tatnall holds him at bay as they start another run to the back straightaway. Stephen Gall looking sharp. George Tatnall showing he's still got what it takes. Fresh air in his face as he once more rounds the top turn and heads for home. 5 laps to go. Gall is inside, outside, everywhere looking for a pass. Far unsuccessful in getting past. Car number 6, Black Magic. That's Johnson. He continues on, still in third place.
The battle for third and fourth at the moment is sensational. Far lunging down on the inside, and Johnson knows he's there. One more time. Young Robbie Farr, the man they call the kid they call the wild child, really sticking it to the veteran Victorian. Gall off the track, back onto the track, sliding every which way but loose with 2 to go. Johnson seems to have the buffer on Robert Farr, and Anderson making his way through the field up to 5th. Him and Kelly getting tangled as they come out of 2. 1 lap to go, the white flag is out, and Gall's back on the hammer, and Gall on the inside looks for a passing move. Stephen Gall and George Tatnall side by side. Tunks is going to play the interference here. Put your hands together for Stephen Gall. George Tatnall will take the second. Third place will be Phil Johnson in 6th, followed by Robert Farr, David Anderson, Kelly and Shaw.
Last night in the qualifying heats, George, your car was very much at 6s and 7s. It was pushing, it was doing everything that I'm sure you really didn't want it to do. Overnight and for much of today, you changed a lot of the car.
Yes, the boys have been working on it all day and just trying to read the track correctly. Everybody's doing the same thing, and we're a lot closer with it tonight. And you know, the 30 laps in the main should sort us out, and we should be right up the front, we hope.
George, what's the situation with your son Brooke? Obviously, he's been heralded as a top 3 favourite for tonight, if you like. In the past, it's been George Tatnall who really has had the pressure. And obviously, with the career that you've had, you've deserved that pressure, I guess, that's been placed upon you by the race fans that expect to see you do well. There's no 2 ways about it. You cannot be written off tonight, but much of the attention is focusing on Brooke. Is that going to help you, that little bit of pressure off George Tatnall?
Oh yeah, it does, but you know, there's also pressure on there that we like to see what Brooke's doing and trying to work the car up for him and that. So that creates a lot of pressure for us too. But you know, our adage has always been that we've everybody else has got to beat us. We haven't got to beat them, and that's what we try and do.
Can you win this tonight?
It's going to be very hard with Max and Gary and Brooke and some of the others off the front. But you know, it's not an impossibility. You know, we'll be in there trying very hard. And as I say, Joe and Alan and the boys have been working very hard on the car, and I think we can get it there.
Ladies and gentlemen, race fans, he is a living legend. A big round of applause, George Tatnall.
Sensational. The pitch is great. Marvellous atmosphere here at Parramatta Raceway tonight. Huge crowd in the background as the cars make their way round. This is the final chance for the drivers tonight to make the Australian Championship. 2 only, the first and second across the line, get the transfer spot for the national title. They're coming around to turn number 4 as I speak. Off turn number 4, green flag at the ready. They are racing. Bunker of South Australia on the outside. Stephen Gall goes right around them. There's a split there between the pair of them as they move onto the back straight, and Gall up on the inside. Swinging up into turn number 3. One clips the infield. They're at 6s and 7s. Storming off turn number 4 down the front straight into the bottom corner. It's Daryl Nash of Victoria who's gone through to take over the lead. Former Mr. Motocross, Stephen Gall, drops into 2nd spot. Wayne Bunker of South Australia is 3rd. That's the order. Wayne Skipper, rather, in 2nd, and Stephen Gall back into 4th. Further back in the field, Jeff Leask. A lot of work to do from here to try and haul them in. Down the back straight, though, it's the young Victorian, Daryl Nash, who leads, but going very wide indeed, and Wayne Skipper makes up the gap on the inside. Back in 3rd is Stephen Gall of Sydney. Wayne Bunker of South Australia is your next place driver. Then Young Farr in the Lander Toyota, car number 3.
Anderson goes up high. Anderson desperate after a bad crash here at the start of the meeting. Now as they come back to the main straightaway, Wayne Skipper on the inside in the 24 car, chasing the number 7 from Victoria, Daryl Nash.
Look at Nash here on the outside, and coming down the inside is Skipper. Side by side down the front straight at Parramatta Raceway, hauling it into the turn at 160 kilometres an hour, and really on the pace is Wayne Skipper. Goes through and takes over the lead. Good past that as they come off turn number 4 down the front straight. Look at the traffic. There's Skipper right down the outside. Here he comes into the turn, making the most of it, picking up the front wheel, dives in between 2 cars, goes the back straight and closes up again on Stephen Gall as they come up into the top bend. Out of the corner, down the front straightaway, and it is Stephen Gall, the race leader in car number 26. Here's the dice for second and third. They move down the back straight. Gall is the race leader, about 100 metres ahead of this lot, and here he comes going through now on the front straight. Skipper looking for second, almost bicycles it up onto 2 wheels, watching pitch it sideways now into the turn, stands it up on 2 wheels as he goes through there. The suspension really working on that car. In the meantime, though, Stephen Gall is your race leader. He's about to pass the start-finishing line now. Goes into the bottom corner. So it's Gall in car number 26. There he is on screen, heading down the back straight. To the top bend, Gall opening the gap up over the second place driver, Wayne Skipper. Boy, doesn't he look sharp here. One's off the racetrack, car number 56 as they come down the front straightaway. Not a problem there, he's heading back to the pits. It's really on in earnest for second and third, let me tell you, and here's where the action is. There's the car out of kilter at the moment as they go down the back straight. Stephen Gall clearing away from the rest of the field in the Selby Suspensions Valvoline car. Here he comes down the front straight away. He'll pitch it sideways into the turn now, lifting play off the back tyres, suspension working, and he runs away from the field. We have the amber lights coming on now, probably because one of those cars has stalled. Amber lights come on. They have 3 laps still to go.
Car number 7 off the circuit. Victorian driver Darryl Nash up against the safety fence. His race has run.
That's going to close them up for the restart. What a restart we're going to get. Hasn't Stephen Gall driven superbly? That's one way of making sure the cars aren't all bunched up, and if a start has to be aborted, someone finishes up going over a wheel. They're taking the signal now. They're all overrunning each other just a little bit. Gall will have to get into race mode as they move onto the back straight. He's staying to the high line. He's left an opening here on the inside for Skipper. He slowed them up. He's got them at 6s and 7s. Now he should jump on the gas shortly. Go! 3 laps to go. 2 drivers only will transfer, and it's Stephen Gall and Wayne Skipper. Look at them come off the turn. Bicycling down the front straight, pitching them sideways into the bottom turn. There goes Gall. Pedal to the metal. Plenty of traction as he stretches it going down the back chute. Wayne Skipper a very good second, and Robert Farr is third. They are pounding this track across the straight now. 2 laps to go. 2 laps away from the start in the national title for 1992. Top turn coming off 4 now. He'll acknowledge the white flag.
And look at the last desperation struggle from young Robert Farr, who's sitting in third. He knows this is the last roll of the dice. Gall is happily content to run off and win this one by the country mile. But the battle for second will go all the way to the checkered flag, comfortably in Wayne Skipper's hands.
There's the challenge for second as Farr comes up and spins himself, goes over the lip. Gall is already on his way into the final turn. He's going to pick up victory. Here he comes. Checkered flag, and Stephen Gall takes the transfer spot. Wayne Skipper will pick up the second. And third across the line will be Kelly in car number Q7. And wave and shout and cheer and wish them well. This is the parade lap for the 92 Peter Jackson Sprint Car Nationals. And a crowd of 14 to 15,000 people cheering on the drivers as they make their way through turns number 1 and 2 and move onto the back straight. The crowd in the background as the cars now move onto the back straight. And acknowledgement of the sponsors of the 92 Sprint Car Nationals. Peter Jackson making it all possible. The field coming down the back straight into turn number 4. Have we got a green flag? We have! Down the front straight, Brooke Tatnell up on the inside of Gary Rush as they go to the bottom corner. We'll two-wheel as they move onto the back straight. Halfway down the back straight, Rush goes in very high. Max Dumsney's got off to a brilliant start. He'll lead them across the strike. 1 down, 29 to go. Gary Rush in the second spot. Brooke Tatnell is third, followed by Skip Jackson in the 78 car. And Gary Brazier opening up a gap over Phil Johnson as they come now off turn number 4 across the line. 2 laps down, 28 remain.
And Dumsney did go to that hell of a start. Gary Rush remaining in second, Tatnell up into third, and fourth place now is young Gary Brazier moving Skip Jackson aside. No major dramas, although former national champion Ron Cricky is already back into the pits after only 2 laps. The domination is already starting to happen. Dumsney, Rush and Brooke Tatnell already making their way out from the rest of the field. Dumsney mid-track, Rush low track and Tatnell high track. Well back in the back now, Brazier in fourth, Jackson in fifth, followed by Phil Johnson, Brad Haywood, Bowen, Tunks, Walker, Farr, Tatnell Senior, Peter Kraft and Stephen Gawler's making his way through the field. Dumsney, Rush and Tatnell with 5 down, 25 to go have really set the sprint car world on fire here at PCR, moving nicely away from the remainder of the field.
5 laps completed in the Australian Championship, and it's Max Dumsney in car number 1 for Valvoline, coming up to a wall of traffic. So within 6 laps, he is going to be into passing cars off the front line. Here's Dumsney working away with Bob Kidd, now comes onto the front straight. Coming up now behind Wayne Skipper as they come into the top bend, and we've had 2 cars around sideways. One is Brooke Tatnell on turn number 4, and the other is Gary Brazier in car number 21. So that happened between those 2 drivers who were running back in 3rd and 4th spot. He really needs a red flag accident so he can change that tyre. However, it's all running smoothly at the moment now that they've formed them up, that little coming together between Brooke Tatnell and Gary Brazier. Should be right for a restart as soon as Dumsney gets on the gas. He does so. Rush wobbles a bit. They head down the back straight. Brooke Tatnell might have a flat tyre, but I'll tell you what, he's taken them all on. Trying to go 6 wide in the first turn as Gary Rush takes off after Max Dumsney. Skip Jackson is in there running in 3rd. Next is Phil Johnson of Victoria and Rocket, Rod Bowen, Brad Haywood. That's the order as they go through the bottom turn and come down to reel off. 23 laps to go. 7 laps down into the championship with Max Dumsney running away with it. Beautiful style of Dumsney heading down the back straight. There he is pitching the car sideways into the turn. Beautifully balanced car. John Sydney Racing Machine guns it down the front straight. So it's Max Dumsney going away from Gary Rush and, of course, Skip Jackson. Phil Johnson is the next one back behind them, and he's been caught by Brad Haywood, who is definitely the big mover in the field, and they're getting away from Rod Bowen in car number 75. 21 laps now remain in the 30-lap Australian Championship. Phil Johnson of Victoria goes to the trotting track. He is out of commission. A major problem with that car. The race roars on. Dumsney comes down into the bottom turn, and he's going to be in amongst some lap traffic within the next 2 circuits. A spin in the top corner.
Tatnell, Brooke Tatnell, and he's parked it. That is the end of Brooke Tatnell. Phil Johnson's gone, Rod Kidd has gone, the rate of attrition has started, and Dumsney remains race leader. We've almost reached half race distance, and Dumsney, Russ and Jackson are well in front of the rest of the pack. A very dejected Brooke Tatnell sitting in the Winfield number 8 car. This is the 30th running of the Peter Jackson Australian Sprint Car title. Dumsney down the back straightaway, really looking good, hooking it into 3 and 4. You can noticeably see the front left wheel lifting from the ground. Rush is in second. Jackson moves past some slower traffic in 3rd, and someone's muffler has come off. There is a muffler sitting down on the start-finish line.
I don't think it's causing any worry at the moment, but it could well be Skipper, who dances the car up on 2 wheels. Dumsney goes through the turn, having a wider look now at the action as Max Dumsney comes up into the top bend, coming underneath Wayne Skipper and about to put a lap on Skipper. Feeds him a back wheel as they go to the bottom corner. Gary Rush, I think, looked like he was getting a little bit closer to Max Dumsney as they went down the back straight. Rush dives under Wayne Skipper, keeps the pressure on. Jackson can't run with him at this stage, but Rush is very, very close to Dumsney. Here's Dumsney at work, going through the field, halfway down the back straight. There's Gary Brazier. He dives into the turn. Dumsney comes straight through on the inside of him. Gets it a little sideways, but comes out of the turn in good shape as the yellow flag comes out once again.
I tell you why Skip Jackson wasn't running as strong as he was. He was the one that dropped the muffler down on the start-finish line. Track manager Stuart Telfer has a black flag in his hand. Let's hope it doesn't go to Skip Jackson. The young Sydney sider is in third place currently, just after half race distance in the Australian title. Jackson coming down the main straightaway now. Will the black flag go out to young Skip Jackson? It certainly would be a shame. It has gone out. Skip Jackson is now out of the sprint car title.
Bad luck indeed, but that is a clear evidence of the fact that with noise monitoring, that Skip Jackson's car, dropping the muffler off, has gone over 100 decibels, 104 to be exact, read by the meter. And it does seem tragic that Skip has to miss, but that is an absolute watertight rule regarding noise. Fourth, Sid Moore in car number 99. What a performance from Sid Moore. That is unbelievable. Getting ready for racing again, Gary Rush. And look at this as Brad Hayward says, you want to race, Rushy? Cop this. And Rushy says, yeah, here's another one. So Rush gets through. Good move that from Brad Hayward. Rocket Rod Bowen moves up now into the fourth spot. Sid Moore is fifth, and they're followed by George Tatnell and Gary Brazier. A really hooky racetrack as Max Dumsney picks up two front wheels. He ducks into the bottom corner. There's Brad Hayward, and the man challenging Hayward in the 75 car is Rod Bowen of Sydney. Hayward gets away from him going down the back straight, and we look to see whether Gary Rush is in fact pulling in the race leader, Max Dumsney.
George Tatnell went through on the inside of Sid Moore, so George Tatnell, the 52-year-old veteran, is up into position 5. Gary Brazier is making his way through the field. Dumsney's wing has come down, it looks like.
That's correct, Andy. You've cooked it well. And Gary Rush closes. Dumsney's lost the front wing, or the top wing. The wing has come across down through the cockpit, and Dumsney's driving defensively. He goes, and the car will be unsteady coming out of the corner, and he's trying to get Rush across the line. The officials now have a problem. Can he have enough to see Rush goes through? And for the first time, the Parramatta Raceway is alight as Gary Rush takes over the lead with 11 laps to go. Can you believe this? Max Dumsney, how can he see? Look at the top wing on the car. Rush is through. He can't believe it. He was picking Dumsney up a few laps ago. And there's Dumsney's wing. The Valvoline machine has got the wing down over the front of the cockpit. He can see barely out the left-hand side, and it looks like Brad Hayward's gone to the pits. And look at Dumsney. Could you see through there? He's squeeging down to the inside. He's trying to catch a sight, taking Peter Kraft on the inside.
Rod Bowen is up into third place, so what a performance by Mad Max. Bowen is up to third, George Tatnell is fourth, and Sid Moore is fifth. We've got a random lap time on Gary Rush coming out of turn number 4. 13.62 seconds for Gary Rush. Superhuman effort at the moment by Max Dumsney. Bowen is in third, and Gorgeous George is up to fourth.
Okay, they've still got a few laps to go. Here's Gary Rush, 9 times Australian champion, leads the Nationals at Parramatta Raceway before an absolutely full house. Onto the back straight, Rush's car picking up the front wheels as he jets out of the turn. Comes down the back straight, now parks the tail of the car in the cushion of dirt. And watch him accelerate as he comes down the front straight. Order of the race is Gary Rush over Max Dumsney, the defending champion. Rod Bowen of Sydney is third, and the veteran 52-year-old George Tatnell is fourth. Dumsney, Rush, through the turns comes Rush down the front straight, reeling them off with 4 laps to go. Max Dumsney has not let out of the throttle. In fact, he still sits about 10 car lengths back. Rod Bowen is still a very strong third, and Tatnell fourth, as Gary Rush comes off turn number 4. 3 laps to go.
Rush coming up against some of the slower traffic. I don't think Dumsney can do anything about it. His sight is almost fully obscured. Third place is still Bowen, and Gorgeous George starting to make waves back in fourth. Rush coming up on a lot of the slower cars. We've got 2 racing laps remaining. Rush makes his way around side far. Dumsney is in second, Bowen third, and Tatnell fourth.
Gary Rush moves to the high side of Ivan Walker as he comes off turn 4. The white flag is out, 1 lap to go. Racing history for Australian Speedway about to be set. as the 47-year-old Gary Rush, a 9 times victor of the Australian Championship, is ready to make it number 10. Will anyone's equal or break the record? Turn 4, fireworks, he's done it. Sydney's Gary Rush has just won the national title for the 10th time. An unbelievable performance. Commiserations to Max Dumsney of Victoria, who had the top wing come down across the cockpit, and he will finish in 2nd place. 3rd place will go to Rod Bowen of Sydney, and 4th place will go to George Tatnall. Clean sweep of the Nationals by the Sydney drivers. And Gary Rush receiving a hero's reception from the standing room only crowd at Parramatta Raceway tonight. He would be delighted. Moving on to the back straight, winning a national is just the dream, the goal of every racing driver. Winning 10 of them is unthinkable, but one man has done it. Sydney's Gary Rush, sponsored by his own company, Gary Rush Holden Auto Wreckers. And Rush comes through the top bend now, acknowledging the cheers of the crowd here at Parramatta Raceway, and he's about to pull up into Victory Lane. The crowd ready to give him a magnificent reception as he pulls up in the Maxim High Bar number 2 car.
And it's my pleasure to be joined to the presentation area by Wayne Merritt, the Accounts Manager New South Wales for the Philip Morris Company, and he'll help in the presentations this evening. We're still waiting on the man who came home 4th, so we won't, he was a sentimental 4th home too. We'll go to number 3. He won 2 feature races at this circuit last season. He bought a brand new Gambler specifically to campaign for this title, and he has come home and says it's better than 6. 3rd place getter, Rod Bowen, the driver of car 75. Wayne, if you'd like to do the honours.
Well, Rod, I think that was a sensational race. I mean, it's my first time here at the Speedway, but congratulations, you're in good company, and all the best.
Once more, let's hear it. He's campaigned as seriously as anyone in Australian Speedway, and boy is he happy.
I'm totally over the moon. It's the biggest thrill. I've won the compact speed car championships and I've been runner-up, but to finish 3rd to these 2 legends, I tell you, it's just, I can't put it into words. You've all experienced the happiest day of my life. Thanks very much. And I'd like to thank Peter Jackson for putting this on. It's just, I'm going to wake up in a minute, I can see that, but I feel great. Thanks very much.
A fairy tale ending for a guy who tried very hard. Rod Bowen, car 75. Ladies and gentlemen, 2nd, no, we'll go back to 4th. He's arrived here, and I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but I'm really delighted to see someone who's been racing since 1961 and has given so much to the sport. Our senior statesman, they called him tonight. The driver of car number 5, 4th in the national title, George Tatnall.
George, I'm particularly proud to give this to you. It was a great race. I mean, I know Winfield Racing put a lot of support into the sport, and as far as Peter Jackson's concerned, congratulations.
Thanks very much. It's really good to see another tobacco company getting into what I think is the best sport around. The road racing and the drag racing, they've got their followers, but this is where it's all about. And you people here tonight that go home that's never been here before, tell other people about Parramatta City Raceway and the sprint cars, but it's good to have Peter Jackson's aboard with us. But I'd like to thank our own sponsors, Winfield, who have been with us for 18 years, Alan Felsh, Shell Oil Company, Joe, my brother, who's been with me ever since we started, and all the crew, and my family for all the support they've given me, and for you people out there for cheering and doing us. We love you all. Thank you.
George Tatnall, I think wonderful sentiments expressed tonight. It was up to George to carry the Tatnall name home. Ladies and gentlemen, 2nd, and he has to yield. Australia won on his car, but what a performance from a guy who couldn't see because of the wing coming down for half the distance, but hung in there and gave a creditable performance. Ladies and gentlemen, he lost nothing of his reputation tonight. Max Dumsney. One to 2 ain't a hell of a drop.
Max, the bottles and the glasses soon to get bigger, so I won't pick them both up, but congratulations on that.
Okay, let's hear from the fella about the race that everyone rode with him.
No worries, thanks a lot. Well, it's good to have come home 2nd. We didn't quite have the luck we needed. I saw on the stoppage 15 laps to go, I saw I had a broken wing stand, and I thought from then I've got to start being nice to the car. I didn't really like that, so I tried to trip around without hitting too many holes for the next few laps. I don't know how many it was until Gary come past, and I thought, well, after he come past, I let him go for a few laps, and I thought, well, bugger it, I may as well try and catch him because there's no point worrying about it. It's done now. But I was really happy to come home second, because just as we came over the start-finish line, we broke a set of change gears, and we wouldn't have went another foot. So I'm rapt to have come second.
There's a happy guy who's number 2 in Australia tonight, and a great sportsman at that. About to uncork the champagne. And Maxie, I'm sure there are just a few people you'd like to thank before you quench your thirst.
Yes, I'd like to thank my main sponsors, Valvoline, all the people up there, John and everyone. Hope you've had a great night. Sorry we didn't bring it home. And I'd also like to thank Peter Jackson for sponsoring the event. Without sponsors, racing just wouldn't be as great as it is today. Thanks a lot.
Max Dumsney, gracious in defeat this evening. And now finally, the moment the guy has prayed and hoped for. He's done it 10 times. Gary Rush! Into the record books. An unassailable record for Australian Speedway. And boy, that look is one he won't forget it a while.
Gary, that was sensational driving. I think it was about lap 10 that you shot in front there, and you just seemed to get further and further ahead. But it was absolutely fantastic, and I think everybody here should give him a round of applause.
Thanks very much. Well, I done it for the fans, and they put a bit of pressure on me, but anyway, thanks very much for everyone for all the support. While they're having their fun there. Steve Raymond. But look, I'd like to thank all my sponsors. There's a few of them, like Ivan Walker, Borden Chemicals, and my wife and family, they own the business. But the guy that I have the easy job driving the car, the bloke I have to thank for everything, all my success, Johnny Barrett. Come up here, John.
John Barrett, ladies and gentlemen, one of the quiet achievers of motorsport in Australia, and John's in for a pleasant surprise tonight as well. John, here's something I think you're going to treasure as well. Best crew chief, congratulations on such a fantastic 1992.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everyone. I'd like to thank Gary for his kind words. He really does all the work on the racetrack. That's where all the job's finished off. I only did the first bit. Thank you.
Okay, Gary Rush, step back here for one moment. Gary Rush, we thought it was such a special moment for you tonight to make it 10 in a row. Would you care to turn around, Gary, and have a look? This one is for you. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulate the winner of the Australian Championship 10 times in a row. It's up in lights, Gary Rush.
Thanks, mate. It's very touching, very touching. I don't know what to say, but what else can I say?
Well, you're going to keep campaigning through the 90s?
Well, Steve, you know, I've said it a lot recently. I've beaten blokes over the last 20 years. We've stood all challenges, but I guess time catches up with everyone, and that's catching up with me. These young blokes are getting very fast, and we're going off the States this year, we hope, and run a few months over there, and we'll make a decision after that.
All right, Gary, a fitting speech. You've left us all hanging in the air, but you've come home, entered the record books. Ladies and gentlemen, again, put your hands together for the 4 place getters. In fact, the entire field for tonight. Gary Rush, Max Dumsney, Rod Bowen, and George Tatnell. Wayne, thank you from Philip Morris for an excellent presentation, and we trust you've enjoyed it.